What's up, horror comedy lovers, and welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host as always, Jay Schatzer, and today I have a strange, odd little comedy. It is Mickey Rose's 1981, just really loopy, weird comedic flick. It is Student Bodies, and this is the first watch for me on this one, and I loved it. I thought it was wacky, weird, altogether ridiculous. So let's jump right in and check it out for ourselves. Here is Student Bodies. Student Bodies is an outrageous early 80s slasher horror comedy combo, which delights in absurd moments and tremendously silly characters. Forged in a satirical cinematic world where anything can happen, and most certainly does, this off-the-wall production abounds in side-splitting sequences that amp up the surreal qualities of the picture and solidifies its tongue-in-cheek persona with hilarious results. Whether it's the film's odd approach to the material or the farcical tone that it is able to establish throughout its runtime, Student Bodies is a wonderfully entertaining journey into the pioneering years of the horror comedy subgenre. The film follows a pure of heart and painfully curious young woman named Toby, who after stumbling upon multiple murders at her high school, becomes suspect number one in a gruesome and ongoing massacre of horned-up teenagers. With the student body count rising to unparalleled heights, and the teachers of the school keeping a watchful eye on Toby and her suspicious ways, can she prove her innocence and reveal the true identity of the killer before she becomes the next victim of his insatiable bloodlust? Kristen Ritter takes on the restrained and goofy role of Toby, a sex-phobic young woman who just keeps poking her nose into other people's business. Ritter does an amazing job in rolling with the absurdity of the picture, as she plays her character totally straight and absolutely genuine amidst such unusual and ridiculous moments. She's wholly sympathetic in the satirical central role, yet still manages to blend in with the rest of her oddball fellow cast members, making for a lead character who surprisingly doesn't take center stage, but rather just exists in this weird world of slasher wackiness. Filling in the rest of the cast is an extremely eccentric mix of actors and actresses, all dying to meet their demise by the ruthless hands of the elusive killer. The memorable weirdos of the picture are Joe Talorowski as Principal Peters, the unusual figurehead of the school and clueless nincompoop; Matthew Goldsby as Hardy, Toby's repressed boyfriend and overall weenie; Carl Jacobs as Dr. Sigmund, Toby's mentally warped therapist and unabashed oddball; Mimi Weedle as Miss Mumsley, a screwball educator and suspicious old coot; and finally Joe Flood as Mr. Dumpkin, a demented woodshop teacher whose love of wooden bookend horseheads borders on obsession. As you can see, it goes without saying that the cast of Student Bodies has a few screws loose, and interestingly enough, it's our main character Toby and the teachers of the school that take center stage of the flick. The teenage cast of the picture are used more as cannon fodder to the killer's sick and twisted ways, rather than engrossing the plot of the picture or bringing anything really meaningful other than a way to up the body count. That's one of the many unusual and unpredictable twists of the production, as it never relies on just entertaining us with its simple slasher formula. There are endless comedic touches and character moments throughout the picture that allow us to get lost in this surreal cinematic world of satirical comedy. with oddball characters aplenty and hilarious moments around every corner. It's hard not to recommend this flick for its audacious personality and unorthodox approach alone. It's weird, wacky, and totally out of left field, as it forces you to question your sanity, as one ludicrous situation happens after another. The film is constantly winking at its audience, and for me, that's part of its charm. In the end, Student Bodies is an unusually succinct and exceptionally outrageous horror comedy hybrid, one that tickles your funny bone as much as it boggles your mind. And there you have it, jokesters. That is the weird, wild, and altogether strange comedy horror hybrid, Student Bodies. Just a laugh-a-minute oddity that a lot of people should check out. Like I said, my first time viewing because you guys recommended it to me, and I'm glad I checked it out because I had a blast with it. Really, really strange, weird film. Loved it. But guys, that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed that one, and I hope you like what I'm doing here. If you do, please like and subscribe. And if you have time, leave a comment below because I'd love to hear from you. But until then, I will see you all at the next movie review. Take care.